Alrighty. So what we're now going to do, guys, is the high-low method. Don't forget, high-low method of cost estimation. Okay, the high-low method is how you estimate your mixed cost. Now, if you guys remember, mixed costs are where you have both fixed and variable components, right? This is way back when, early in the class. Okay, so again, fixed and variable components. How do you estimate them? Well, that's what the high-low method does. So let's make it happen. Oh wow, fireworks! Kaboom! Well done, director. So it says here, XMart supplies adult videos to Cafe Risque once every week. Okay, they've been keeping track of their costs associated with how many videos they deliver each week. The data are shown below. Okay. Now, before we go any further, what do you need to do? Right. You need to go with the highest and lowest period. Now, of course, what do we usually use as our highest and lowest? Good. You see, this is the cost, but this is the activity level. All right, guys? That's the activity level. So we're going to go with the highest and lowest activity level as our gauge for how to do this. So what is the highest activity level? Good. The highest activity level occurs in week 3. Okay, so here's the activity level. Here's the cost. So here's the high point. Okay, what else do we find? Good, get you the low point. How do you get the low point? Yeah, find the fucking smallest one. Good. So using activity level, here we go. There's the lowest point. Okay, high point, low point. Good? All right, not too bad, not too bad. Now don't forget though, we are going to turn these into what? X, Y coordinates. Okay, X, Y coordinates. What is X? Good. You gotta be real careful. X is always your activity level. Y is always the cost. So even if these were listed the other way around, even if I told you the cost over here and the video shift over there, you know that X is the activity level always. Y is the cost always. Okay, be real careful with that. So our 2 points, right, the two, algebraically speaking, the 2 points we're going to work with are what? They're the point 10, 12, so to speak, and of course the point 5, 8. Feel good? Okay, 10, 12, and 5, 8. All right, not bad. So here we go. All right, let's dive into the first one. It says, using the high-low method of cost estimation, what is the variable cost, guys? What is the variable cost? Don't forget, the variable cost is done via the what? Like what quantity does the variable cost represent? Good. If it ever asks for the variable cost, it just wants the slope. Okay, the slope between the 2 points is always going to be our variable cost. Okay, how do you get the slope? Good. The slope is always going to be the change in y divided by the change in x. Okay, so we'll say our slope is change in y over change in x. Okay, that's just from Algebra 1 way back when. And now we figured out our 2 points are 10, 12, and 5, 8. So our change, I guess we can call this x1, y1 if you wish. And this is x2, y2 once again, if you wish, which you should wish. Okay? So keeping up with this, then we'd say, okay, our change in y is going to be what? Well, it's going to be the difference between these 2 points. Now, of course, it doesn't matter which way you do it. I'll just do it to be consistent as y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. y2 is 8 minus y1 is 12 over x2 is what? Good. 5 minus y2 is 10. Okay? So what does that give us? Okay, if we do 8 minus 12, that gives us negative 4 over negative 5, which gives you a positive 0.8. Or in essence, our variable cost per unit is 80 cents. Make sense? So we always use the high-low method here, right, to get these to get the variable cost acquired, and we always get the slope. Whenever it asks for the variable cost, it's always the slope. Okay? Good possible question. Okay, what is the variable cost? Now, I want to make sure you understand the natural accumulation of these questions. What do I mean by that? Well, if it asks for the slope or the variable cost per unit, that's easy. Okay, you just get the slope and you call it a day. What if it asks for this, though? What if it says, what is the fixed cost? Okay, well, look, you're going to find out in just a second. The fixed cost is going to be represented by the y-intercept. Okay? And in order to get the y-intercept, I need to get the slope first. Does that make sense? So if this is the only question asked in the exam, understand you have to do this first. Right? They all go together. It all kind of builds very nicely. Okay? So the y-intercept is going to be what? Well, let's see. We know that the equation of a line is always y equals mx plus b, or the way your professor says it, it's what? Total cost equals variable cost times x, okay, plus fixed cost, whatever, same thing. You get the basic idea. I'm going to use this because it's freaking algebra. You all know that. So let's pick any of the 2 points we wish. It doesn't matter which one, all right? Either of the 2 points. I'm going to pick the first one because it's staring me in the face, Okay? So if you pick the other one, you'll still get the same answer. Watch. So let's see. What is the y component to the first picture? Ooh, let me grab a different marker. Make this fun. Okay. So the y coordinate, guys, the y coordinate is what? 12. Okay? 12 equals what? Good. We're going to put m, our slope. Now, we already got our slope to be 0.8 a second ago. Do you see what I said before? You have to get the slope to get this question done. Okay? Now, the x coordinate that we're going to use is going to be what? 10. Excuse me. Plus what? Ah, very good. That's the intercept that we're solving for. Does everybody see that? Okay? So we're going to use the equation y equals mx plus b and then just plug in either point we wish and the slope that we have to get that thing solved. So this is going to be what? 12 equals 8. I'm going to do the different marker colors. Plus b. Oh, there we go. Right? Now what are you going to do? Good. We're going to subtract 8 from both sides. Subtract 8 from both sides. And this gives us what? 4 equals b. Right? Very, very good. Okay, 4 is b. So it turns out the intercept was b. Okay, or the intercept turns out was $4. Okay, or the fixed cost of $4. Still, though, make sure you understand the cumulative nature of this. Okay, that's for the variable cost. Give them the slope. That's just the difference in y's over difference in x's, where the y's are the activity levels. I'm sorry, the y's are the cost, pardon me, and the x's are the activity levels. Okay, cost, activity level. Okay, that's 80 cents in this example. Then get the intercept. Okay, well, if you have to get the intercept, you need to get the slope first, right? You use y equals mx plus b, plug in either point as well as your slope, and then solve for b. Now, the mother lode of all questions will be something like this. Using the high-low method of cost estimation, what's the estimated total shipping cost in week 6 when 7 videos will be shipped? Well, in that a son of a bitch, right? What you essentially have to do now is you do what? This question, right, is implicitly asking these two together. Because what you're going to find out is in order to get this, I need to actually get the equation first and then plug in the numbers accordingly. So we know the equation is y equals mx plus b, right? Where y is the what? Good. The total cost is equal to what? M. M is the slope, which we already figured out was 0.8, right? Times x, which this question tells us is 7, okay? Plus our fixed cost, which we figured out was 4. Does that make sense? Okay? So we already figured out that m was 0.8 from before. We just were given that x was 7 here, and we knew that b, the intercept, was 4. So now if you take 0.8 times 7 plus 4, okay, you will get an estimated y value, or an estimated total cost, of $9.60. Okay? So the answer to this one is A. But you see how that works? In other words, I couldn't have put these numbers in the right spot. I couldn't have put M, the slope there, B, the intercept there, and then plugged in the X if I didn't already do this stuff ahead of time. So I got to get the slope is the 0.8, the intercept is $4, and of course putting it all together, we get a total cost estimated of $9.60 when 7 videos will be shipped. Okay? Cool? Good stuff, guys. So don't forget, okay, high-low method, there probably will be at least one question on the exam. Make sure you know how to get the slope, intercept, and then make a prediction at any one point by plugging the number into the equation, of which we have both the slope and intercept. Good? All right? See you guys in just a little bit. Take her easy.